All right, YouTube, another recap of Operation Devil Dogs. I apologize about the slightly slow speed of these recap videos. I've just been really incredibly busy with work and burnt out from a lot of stuff. So the we've been all been going at a pretty quick pace, but whenever it gets to my turns, it slows down from just because of my schedule right now, my work schedule, and just being kind of burnt out right now. But anyway, hopefully it's not. Hopefully the updates aren't too slow. But anyway, here is a recap of round 8. What happened? We are nearing the end of this game. The only thing that we did not do is that China is a foregone conclusion. There's no point of playing it out. The Allies are not going to invade China. Japan's just not into it. So, yeah, we're just not playing China anymore. Central Powers have the China point. It's just a done deal there. So I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just get rid of these guys then. Okay. All right. So anyway, all right. So this is what happened on round 8, which was a big one. Last few turns have been very much positioning, and this is all the casualties this round. So, as you can see, the German Pacific Fleet was finally destroyed at the cost, as well as the Austrian cruiser from the Pacific, at the cost of one American cruiser. Madman got pretty lucky rolling on those. An elite was killed. A sizable Austrian force was destroyed. Let's see. German tank destroyed. Some more neutrals were attacked. And American transport was lost. That's what the Austrian cruiser took out, an undefended American transport. Maybe some expensive bait, but you know. Some Japanese were lost. And a machine gun was destroyed. And I think that's just about it. Everything else is infantry, cavalry, artillery, you know, the usual. Okay, so let's get on to it. Austria went into Switzerland en masse, and this is all the stuff here that is in Switzerland, pulling the Allies in this direction. On Germany's turn, since Austria took Switzerland, Germany had 2 cavalry that towed 2 infantry to take Burgundy, so the French counterattacked there, but that pulled stuff away from up here. So that's kind of cool. And then this stuff is on the way. So what will happen with that, we will see. They also attacked, they railed some units up to Bavaria. There's 3 elites and artillery up there for Austria. And they also, the usual tit for tat in Tyrol here, which, as you can see on the Italy attacked from Veneto with 2 artillery and infantry to contest it. So fun stuff. That's contested. Can't rail to from Vienna to Switzerland. And then what else? He built some stuff in Bulgaria. He's got some air force there. Continued setting up stuff this way. We also, the forces, the Central Power forces split. The Austrians went down to Caucasus, where the Russians came down from Volga en masse and smashed Caucasus. So that's fun. And that allowed the Germans, which were backed up to Western Ukraine, they went in and just wiped out Eastern Ukraine and snagged the Russian trench works up there. So it's, this is what's happening right now. We got the Russian Air Force in Volga and all of this giant horde here in Caucasus, and they got enough. Got enough hits where there were only 3 German units left in Caucasus, and then the Brits had to come in on their turn and knock out those German units to free up these Russian units, which can plow ahead forward. So fun stuff. There's a bunch of Russia congregated up here in Karelia. Austria also sent guys from Poland to Lithuania. Germany bombed Russia with another strategic bombing raid and cost them 2 IPCs. I can't remember if the convoy took off $4 or not, but I think it did this time. Last turn it was ineffective. That Dreadnought is still in Season 26 as bait. And we got 3 cavalry in Moscow. Petrograd has been the capital this whole time. Theoretically, on his turn for this round, he could pay to move it to Moscow, but I'm not sure he's going to want to do that with what's encircling Moscow. We got a big force here, which is all of this stuff right here. A lot of stuff coming. Germany had an elite from the previous turn, added it into that stack, I believe, or maybe it was up into the stack, but I'm pretty sure they added it. I added it into this stack. I'm going off memory, and then everything from Poland pushed up to Belarus. Smash that. So we will see, because this stuff outside of a truck and 2 infantry, pretty much out of position to get to Moscow. But let's see, we got 2 turns left, so maybe he will go back up to Moscow, or he'll go and threaten Romania, or what? Either Romania, Moscow, decisions, we'll see. Let's see, what else? That's about it for Russia. Okay, Germany, pretty much discussed what happened on the Eastern Front already. Germany made a push for South Africa and got pretty lucky with the hits on both sides. If I'm recalling correctly, Germany got 9 hits, and even though the Brits have air supremacy down there with a fighter, boosting up to 6 artillery to roll at 4s, they only got 8 hits in return. And then on Britain's turn, Britain got 5 hits, and then Germany only got 3 hits. So neither side rolled really, really well. But yeah, South Africa is tied up, so to speak. And as you can see, the Ottomans, the rebellious Ottoman units, came in to reinforce from Angola. So that's fun stuff. Yeah, then up here on the Western Front, it's mostly just been a congregation of stuff. All these fighters are in Rhine province. We got this stuff here in Bavaria. Rhine province has a minefield, which they got this turn, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly. And then this is what's in Rhine province. And then these are the Americans and the French that are in Belgium. And there's the Brits. There's the Brits right there. So as you can see, there's quite an allied party happening in Belgium right now. The naval arms race up here has ceased for the time being. It's just a standoff. Nobody wants to make any moves, especially since the Germans have improved sea mines. And then France, let's see, has made its way down into, let's see. He just decided to leave Alsace contested, didn't attack it or anything. No, nobody attacked it, which I thought was a little peculiar. I always figure you might as well, but anyway. But yeah, France counterattacked in Burgundy and then just built stuff and fortified up in Belgium. Belgium's got all this, like I said. We got 2 tanks in play. They got machine guns, poison gas, and just a whole bunch of fighters. There are so many fighters on this board because nobody wants to do a dogfight, and I am actually out of normal height, the small height flight stands that I have for my stuff. So I'm having to use my bomber flight stands, which nobody's bought any bombers this game either because the situation just hasn't really presented itself. But also I think nobody's been thinking about it. But we do have some tanks in place, so that's kind of fun. Germany, sensing, this has been the really interesting thing happening, and I actually do have to roll a die here. Germany, sensing the Japanese onslaught, decided to take the Chilean army and invade Bolivia, where they failed to take Bolivia, and they only got 1 hit. They needed 2, which allowed America on their turn to not counterattack, but just move the stuff in from Brazil to reinforce it. And then Japan dropped a guy off in Chile, and then for reasons unknown to me, because it doesn't really benefit anything, attacked Peru. So that's that. But Peru had, a standing army of 3 infantry and 1 artillery, and when he invaded, he forgot to roll the preemptive strike. So I'm going to roll that preemptive strike right now, and if this gets a hit, then he only got 4 hits, so he might have to re-roll that. I don't know. I guess depending on how serious we want to take this, but anyway, there you go, and it's a miss. Okay, so no harm, no foul there. All good. Okay. All right. So yeah, as you can see, Japan has sent stuff down over this way from the Pacific, and did all of this business. They did lose 3 infantry in Peru taking that, but yeah, they're just focusing on that. Not, like I said, nobody's bothering with the China point at this point. Russian Revolution, if it even happens, there's only 2 turns of it, so Japan isn't going to be able to help that out or whatnot. So we shall see. But anyway, yeah, that's about that. Onto the Ottomans. The Ottomans built air force and infantry, and then just repositioned stuff. Holding up in Palestine, southern Anatolia, Marmara, pulling stuff out of Syrian desert, northern Anatolia, sending a guy down into Hejaz, and then also fortifying, reinforcing the Germans down here in South Africa. Okay, and that's basically been it for the Ottomans. Italy, like I said, did that little counterattack up in Tyrol, and they've positioned their stuff over here and put a bunch of stuff in, most of their stuff, this army here, into Piedmont, probably because of the Austrians coming this way. So if they go that way, then I guess they'll go that way, because there's not much Austrians going this way. The Ottomans also, they previously railed units to Serbia, and those units from Serbia have just walked over to Dalmatia. So we got some Ottomans there. And then the United States, last but not least, the United States, and Britain on their turn, these two cruisers here took out the Austrian cruiser. The United States took out the 2 German cruisers and transport in Sea Zone 10, and this Italian sub took out the remaining transport in Sea Zone 13. So the annoying Pacific German fleet for the Allies finally killed in round 8. It's always good to try and keep that stuff alive as long as you can and do what you can with it before the Allies box it in and stuff. So cause as much chaos as you can, which I think I did a pretty good job. The Americans came over and took out German infantry in French West Africa and liberated it. This is a tank. This is a cool little skeleton tank I painted from HBG. It was like a prototype tank made in the war. Pretty cool. Made during the war. Only one was made. I think it's on display in Minnesota somewhere. And then the Americans from the American forces that were in Rome hopped on their transports, came down here, and liberated Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. So Anglo-Egyptian Sudan has finally been liberated, which it's been empty for a long time of the game, and I've always been confused as to why they've left it empty for so long, but apparently they've just forgotten to take it on their turn. So that's a little joy of YouTube wars and stuff. If they had asked to make an edit to their turn, I would have allowed it, but they never asked. So this has just been free money for Germany this almost the whole game. But anyway, Americans have finally made a landing here, and even though right now the Central Powers actually have the African point, I foresee them losing it pretty soon. But right now, point-wise, it's Allies 1, 2, 3, 4, to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But a lot of these are like very tentative. The Empire point is dwindling for the CP now that Chile's taken out. That pads it. So right now, I think the Central Powers are at, for the Empire point, they're at 88. And if they dip below 85, which is certainly possible, they're going to lose that point. And I think you'll see kind of 2 points being lost basically in Africa, probably by the end of this game. This is the Allied Powers Empire point tracker. Let's see what else. Got to fix that. Okay, all right. And let's see what else. Currently, Central Powers have the Black Sea point, but that is very possible that they will be losing that. Certainly is possible. It's whoever controls the most amount of territories around the Black Sea. Right now, Allies have 2, but that can spread out, and Central Powers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, chip that away. Who knows? And the question is, what is this Russian horde going to do? Is it going to go this way? Is it going to go this way? Will the revolution happen this turn? Probably not. Will it happen? Will it, will it even occur? Will it be on the table? We'll see. Will the Central Powers want to accept it if it happens? We don't even know, because there's only 2 turns left for this to play out. Right now, Central Powers only need 5 territories to control 5 territories during the end of the Russian combat. After the Russian Empire's conduct combat phase, if the Central Powers control 5 or more original Russian territories, then the revolution happens and an armistice is offered to the Central Powers, and the Central Powers can accept or deny it depending on what happens. But in either case, the Allies lose the Russian Revolution point if the revolution occurs. So we'll see. We will see. Time will tell. Okay, but that about basically covers it. Allies, of course, have the Western Front, favorable trade points, Pacific colonies. They currently have one. Felt like they had another victory city at some point. Oh yeah, they had Ankara for a split second. Yeah, Allied Central Powers have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. They have 3 minor cities. Allied powers currently have 1, and I know they've been talking about snagging Madrid at the end of the game, so that is possibly that will happen, but we'll see. Basically about covers it. Okay, so exciting game. Even though it's looking grim for CP in several ways, it also is a very tight game, which has been kind of crazy. But anyway, here we go. I'm gonna watch a couple more turns and do my German turn, and then we'll go from there and wrap this up.